Hello guys, it's Sir Crypto and welcome to the weekly market update. Stay tuned. Right guys, Sunday, so yeah, not much going on, low liquidity, everyone is touching grass, is just us staring at charts like idiots. But just a quick update just so you know what you can expect next week. Obviously I haven't got a crystal ball, but just to like quickly show you what we've done so far on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. We had this trend line that we finally broke. If we look at the charts, we had a downtrend since January, so we had lower lows, lower highs, and the way to break the downtrend, let me just grab this. So this is the last lower high that we had, okay, right here on this level. So to break the downtrend, you have to close above, okay? You have to close above this lower high, which we did. So we are actually, at the minute, we are on the daily time frame. We closed way above it, to be honest. And I mean, there is few things that might happen from here. I mean, obviously, like I said, I haven't got a crystal ball, so I'm literally just speculating. What I see from here is either we resume, let me just change the color of that, either we resume the growth, okay, so either we push slightly higher until we get some sort of pushback down, okay. Not sure where the resistance might be. It might be here, might be there, guys. Like I said, I haven't got a crystal ball, so we either go higher, but then at some point you have to expect that we're gonna drop down. And you might ask why. Because if you look at this downtrend, it's basically a zigzag line. You can do it on your own chart on the trading view. From the candles you can swap it to line, okay, and you might go on the weekly. And if you look at this, you can see it's a proper downtrend. And I mean, look at this line. Look at this line now. This is this whole move since we did since 78k. So this whole move, we moved from 78k to 93k, and I'm not sure if we're done. We might go higher, but I mean, it's a clear as day. There's no arguing. Clear as day breakout. Okay. Let's come back to the daily and let's switch it back to the candles. So what I mean is, right now we are making our first higher high, and the way the uptrend looks like is basically something like this. So you had the downtrend, right? So this is our last lower high, so this is this. We breaking out above this line, which we did, and at some point we're gonna come back and retest this, and then we're gonna push higher. And then we're gonna come back, find the support, and then we're gonna go higher. So this is what the uptrend looks like. It's completely opposite from the downtrend, but to the other side. Like, so you're not going down, you're going up, okay? At some point, obviously, the trend might break, or we might consolidate. Consolidation is basically just going sideways, is like chopping in between two prices. But if you look at this and if you just run two trend lines, you're going sideways. But I do expect, I don't think we're gonna push higher, to be honest. Guys, I'm bullish as hell. But what I think right now is we're just gonna come back. And I think we're gonna drop. And this is gonna be our first lower high. And from here, obviously you do have to pay attention what's gonna happen next. Are we gonna go higher and create another higher high? Or we're gonna trap all the bulls thinking this is the lower high, and we actually gonna push lower and we're gonna continue the downtrend. So this is what I call a fake out, because bulls, people like me, like to enter right here. We trying to time the bottom of this move before we go higher. But what market makers like to do is they like to trap people here thinking like, okay, we're gonna go higher, but what they actually do is they send us lower and we have another downtrend. So yeah, this is something to pay attention to. If we remove all the drawings, so let's say this is this move, okay? It's not gonna go higher. Let's say this is the top of that higher high. What you can do, obviously we do speculate. What you can do is you can grab your Fibonacci extension, okay? And you can draw it from the bottom of that move to the top. And if you go to settings, go to the style, switch everything off apart from these three: 0.5, 0.618, 0.65. This is like the three key elements I like to use in my Fibonacci extension. So what it does is we're trying to calculate how far this lower high is gonna drop, okay? So we've got this move and we're trying to measure where it's gonna drop. Quite often the charts like to retrace 50%, which 0.5 represents 50% retracement. So if it would drop to 0.5 from this point, assuming this is the top of the move, we would drop to around 85k, and it will be absolutely normal, because what would happen then, we drop here and then hopefully we're gonna go higher. So this is option number one. The golden pocket, which is 0.618 and 0.65 zone right here, if we would drop to golden pocket, which would be extremely bullish, obviously assuming we will have some sort of kick from this point, we will be probably absolutely fine if we drop to 82k, and this is where the buyers will most likely step in, because they would probably think like, okay, this is a discount, this is a discount zone, this is where I buy, this is basically, this is where the bulls have to defend, this is like the last one. Obviously there will be buyers here on 0.5 move, 50% retracement, but the most buyers will be probably sitting here. That's why it's called the golden pocket. So yeah, pay attention to those two, obviously assuming this is the top of the move, okay? Pay attention to 85k more or less, and then 83k to 82k, so basically between 83 and 82k. all right? And that's a Bitcoin. Guys, super important, Discord. This is where all the updates are posted as soon as possible. If you want to stay up to date to what's going on the market, if you're a working individual, you don't have time to do the research by yourself, we do have a pro trader. Just join our Discord, it's completely free. We have a nice tight crew. Guys, honestly, it doesn't cost you anything, you can only benefit from it. The link to the Discord is in the channel description. Don't wait, join now. Thank you.